So you know how they have laser networks of um, satellites for communications around our planet. Well, you know how I was talking about how our planet's like a soccer ball balanced on a sprinkler spigot with enough air pressure and water vapor in it. That's what the sun's doing. It's providing, and it's split out of elongated light particles that are hitting data within there that spins out into hydrogen particles. That's the same thing that they do in reactors. They create different forms of high-end hydrogen that they admit is within the sun. So what we need to do is admit that that stream of energy is coming and hitting the earth as it spins along, catching the mountain ranges, slowly heating everything up. So the sun ray, I already switched to this one, but the sun ray would basically be each you basically have a giant telecast screen of satellites, and then as the earth turns, they all take turns sending and receiving data at and around the sun. Like, you know how you shoot a spacecraft around a object like the sun or a planet, but you solar burst. So then you actually start reading the data of the sun's incoming solar transmissions and piggybacking on that. That's the ultimate goal, would be to send rounded transmissions around the sun and back to our Earth instantaneously and get in contact with that frequency of like amplitude that's infinite from the sun, that's like keeping us aloft and spinning correctly. So when I say aloft, I mean that all stars are gravity wells, meaning every star is a black hole. When you look out there in space, you just can't see some of the stars because they have their energy, direction, and wavelength. Let me explain something. The speed of light, we just can't perceive it with our human senses really quite, our eyeballs usually, if the speed of light is denied. So if an object nearby from some swinging mass of a different galaxy is going at a greater velocity away from us, sideways from us, towards us, than the speed of light that we can perceive. That's why I say the speed of light is our fastest perception of light, of common human interface. So when you view it that way, our star, right, is a flat plane air of all its planets, and then that's like the safety zone with the gases and everything. And then everything else is a giant whirling maelstrom of black hole ripping energy tearing through the sun. So we are in fact living next to a black hole sun and spinning around it. But that's nothing remarkable. That's just something that science needs to catch up with and admit. So then you could have all the hues from the sun, and you could actually get free energy that's also your network horseshoe around the sun connecting through to the earth. This is just something I'd like to talk about. It's experimental concepts. And then ultimately you need to get to the point where you have organic synthesis satellites that are made out of whatever materials of bacteria, mushroom, whatever, and earth materials, concentrated soil amendments, and then they send and receive signals because the whole world, everything's starting to glow. The mushrooms, I've counted on Wikipedia. I can look it up. There's thousands of glowing mushroom species, 5 of which I have on a list for cultivation in my willows in future years. They can grow in, colder climates. Glowing mushrooms. So then the plants start to grow and the glow in the jungles. Everything is evolving. Finally. So I just need everybody to know that evolution is spinning out from our sun and how that functions. And the sun, it pulls particle energy data right every 11 years from top and bottom through its black hole spiral as we're on the plane near safe zone. And then it flips its poles after it generates enough energy of grinding and pops everything the other way. So, we just need to start thinking about how we're, going to get free energy in realistic ways, and what kinds of free energy we need. Because everybody knows there's energy everywhere. They could have just ripped hydrogen and oxygen from water for the last 100 years and had energy. But they wanted nuclear energy. They want certain types of energy. So I'm saying I want energy that's solar energy.